But I promise you, if you stay in the stuck mindset, you will be right where you are, ABD, and watching all your friends walk across the graduation stage and have that inner thought that says, you know what, that person ain't even that smart. So find you a dissertation coach, find you some help, find you some support. That's a strategic move, right? Have you ever felt like your dissertation is just taking forever? Do you feel like maybe life is getting in the way of you finishing? Or does it just seem like it's taking forever for your dissertation chair and or your committee to give you feedback? And are you just tired of waiting on their approval? I know this can happen to you. And so if you are dealing with delays right now, I want to give you some strategy and insight so that you can navigate these delays without losing momentum. And so on today's episode, we are going to give you the insights that you need to move your dissertation forward because we know for so many doctoral students, trying to finish while experiencing life can be a challenge. And there are so many things that can get in the way. And I want to make sure you have the insights that you can have to move this thing forward. And so on today's episode, I can't wait to get into this content with you all because I just know this is going to help one of you who are watching in order to make that push to move this process along. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation. And at Done Dissertation, it's our goal to help demystify the dissertation process so that you, the doctoral student, can write and defend your dissertation in record time. And if you're someone who is looking for support, you're looking for help to get you to the finish line, I would invite you to learn more about our Velocity Coaching Program. And you can learn more about our program at www.velocitydissertation.com, or you can scan the QR code that is here on your screen. And so for today's episode, we are going to be all focused in on how to navigate dissertation delays without losing momentum. Look, I see it happen so often that we lose this momentum because we let these delays impact us. And I promise you, if you implement these strategies I'm going to share with you, you'll be on your way to success. And so for the first thing I want you to consider when we're thinking about understanding how to continue momentum when you experience delays is that you first have to acknowledge that delays happen. So many of you all sometimes just are scared and just don't want to acknowledge that these delays happen. And that's going to be one of the pieces that will give you the momentum and clarity that you need. Because look, delays are an inevitable part of the process. It is something that you, as a doctoral student, have no ability to stop. And I'm going to give you an example from my own experience. So when I wrote my dissertation, I wrote it in 7 months. I started in August of 2014 and I actually finished writing in March of 2015. I do all the writing in March 2015. I give it to my committee. It's good to go. I get approved by my committee for defense. In April, I had to submit it to my department chair, who's the last step in our process at my university. So I submitted to the department chair. And then what happens in May, I get a letter back from my department chair saying, oh, Ramon, there's a lot going on well here, but I have these 4 items that you're going to have to address in order to defend. And at this time, I'm not approving you for a defense. If you can imagine, I was prepared for a May graduation. I was like ready to go. And then when I got that email and that note back from my department chair, it was a little devastating. I was like, oh God, like what did I do to deserve this? And of course I had to go through my own process of, working through what was going on. And for me, I can't let stuff sit long. So I said, I can't let this delay mess up my momentum. So what did I do? I just locked in and got the edits done. I even got the edits done quick enough to turn it around in maybe like a week. But because at my university, the professors actually went away for the summer and didn't do any defenses during the summer, I literally couldn't defend until October of that year because of that delay. Just know that delays will happen. But, I just did an episode recently with Dr. Tamara Diaz, and we were talking about her dissertation journey. And one of the things she mentioned is that, I'm not going to let me be the reason why I don't finish my dissertation. And that resonated. And what she was meaning by that in that conversation was that essentially, her work and her efforts are not going to be the reason why she doesn't finish, because she understands that there are things sometimes that are outside of her control as a doctoral student that she can do nothing about. Like in her case, she actually had to have 3 different dissertation chairs because 2 of them left the university as she was writing. She has no control over that. No, that delayed her process, but she recognized she didn't have control, and all she could do was control what was in her purview, which was her writing. And so if you are someone who has been stuck and you're losing the momentum, the first thing you have to figure out and be willing to do is just to make sure that you acknowledge that the delay has happened. Once you acknowledge it and then you can accept it, then you can do something about it. But if you're first things first, if you don't acknowledge the delay, it will hold you up in this process. Now, once you acknowledge the delay, the second piece, if you want to maintain momentum with your dissertation, this when you experience a delay, is that you're going to have to shift your mindset from stuck to strategic. Look, it is very comfortable to stay stuck. Quite honestly, for you, you might be stuck because it is the most comfortable place to be. And the fact of you having to be strategic because you don't know what is needed to be strategic, you rather not or you rather stay where you are than try to go through all of the pain it takes to get to that point of the strategy in order to finish. But I promise you, if you stay in the stuck mindset, you will be right where you are, ABD, and watching all your friends walk across the graduation stage and have that inner thought that says, you know what? That person ain't even that smart. I know I'm smarter than them. How is it that they got through? And I promise you, the thing that you have to consider is that it's not about how smart you are, it's about what's up here and how you're thinking about the process. And so, with that in mind, if you're trying to become more strategic, you first have to be comfortable with recognizing that you've been stuck. Once you acknowledge it, we have to say, all right, what am I willing to do to become unstuck? And for a lot of y'all, it might just be opening up the document with the feedback in it. I know for a lot of you all, I recently did a workshop at North Carolina A&T, and we were joking around saying, sometimes when you get your dissertation document back, you open it up, you get that email, right? You're like, oh, okay, let me see what the feedback looked like. You're eager, and then you open up that you tap in, you open up that document, or some of you all just do a little preview, open it up, click on it real quick to see, and then you start seeing all those red lines. Or even now, some professors are changing the color; it might be purple or green. You've seen all those lines that suggest that there are a lot of edits. And for you all, a lot of you all will do is double tap that thing close and close the email and go do something else and not even read through. So part of being strategic might be just for you to open back up the document and actually read through the feedback. If you're past that point, part of the strategy might be for you is like, hey, I'm getting a lot of feedback on grammar and syntax. It might be reaching out and getting an editor. If you need editing support, like just an editor to clean your document at the end, send us a note. Reach out to us on social media. We will connect you with our editor in order to get that type of support. That's a simple fix. It's just a matter of being willing to go seek help. For some of you all, you might be getting feedback and things around your document that's saying, oh, there's a misalignment between your theoretical framework, your research questions, and your methods. That might need more intensive support in terms of coaching. So find you a dissertation coach, find you some help, find you some support. That's a strategic move, right? And some of you all might be saying, well, my university needs to do that. True. But they're not always going to be able to and actually support you at the level that you might need. So it may take you getting some outside support to get to that point. That's literally why I started done dissertation now about 8 years ago, because I found a lot of students needed support that the university just couldn't provide in the way that the student might need. And that's why we have a velocity coaching program in place to help students be more strategic. Our whole program is really centered on how do I help you as a doctoral student take in what's happening, but then become extremely strategic on navigating the process. That's all we do. And if you're someone in that boat, like say, hey, I need some strategy, I need that insight, lock in with us, schedule a complimentary consultation. To learn more, you can go to www.velocitydissertation.com or pause the video and scan the QR code to take you right to the site. But this is important. It really hurts when I have to see a lot of you all, potentially stuck when you just literally have to be more strategic. But it's first sometimes diagnosing where you are and then figuring out, all right, what are some potential steps that you could take? And if you come to a point where you exhausted the things that you can do, it's time to reach out for help. That's literally why I put out this content, to give you all the strategy, because right now I know students right now when this video comes out and just, knowing how the process goes, you watching will have experienced a delay. It will happen as part of the process. And now you know what to do. Now put the steps in and execute. Because the difference between those who finish and those who don't is literally the idea around execution. And I promise you that will take you to the next level. And so with that, if you want to know how to navigate dissertation delays without losing momentum, the next component that you're going to have to consider is that you are going to have to develop a game plan and get back on track. So as I mentioned, when we get more strategic, we are willing and able to then put a game plan together. As I mentioned, some of you all, the game plan might be to review the edits. The game plan for some of you all might be to get an editor. For some of you watching, the game plan might be to get a dissertation coach. For some of you all who maybe are writing your dissertation, navigating the job process, it might be figuring out what are a number of opportunities that I can line up just in case this faculty opportunity doesn't pan out. And right now, in terms of our climate, in terms of these various executive orders at the federal government level, I know a lot of folks are experiencing a lot of delays with their writing, potentially with the funding, with the data collection, depending on the type of funding stream that helps you get your data. I understand that completely. Literally, I sit in meetings every week at my university as a department chair in those types of conversations. So I hear and I understand what's going on. And so just knowing that you need to have a game plan in place for whatever the situation might be. For some of our students who I know might have particular types of funding, it might be like, all right, what other funding mechanisms can we put in place to help support them in getting their work done? Those are things we have to be more strategic and create the game plan for. Because again, we can get from stuck to strategic, right? But if we create the game plan, we have to take it a next step up and actually execute the game plan. Because I promise you, there are a lot of doctoral students like yourself who have the game plan, but for whatever reason are not executing it to the way you need to get done. And so that's going to be a key component in part of your process if you want to finish. So you're going to have to make sure that you develop a game plan and get back on track. Again, delays are inevitable. If you go in our content on YouTube and go to the client success stories playlist, you can see all the stories from past clients in terms of every last one of them have finished, but have experienced some form of delay. And they have somehow navigated them. Again, some of it with our support, but some with them just executing the game plan that they set up for themselves. And so if you don't have a game plan and you want one, reach out to us. We can help you develop that. Now, the last component when we're thinking about how to navigate dissertation delays without losing momentum is that you're going to finally have to implement systems for future delays. Because look, we all know that life is going to life and delays will happen. And because of life happening constantly, there will be things that pop up. A lot of our clients are experiencing, having to take care of relatives, family members. Some clients have children, figuring out, dependent care, babysitting, all those things. You know that right now in your current life situation, there are some innate challenges that you, based on your, where you live, your family dynamic, work dynamic, student status, whatever it is, there are particular challenges that you have. What I want you to do now is actually get a way to think through and plan for these future strategies. One suggestion, this may seem super simple. You could do this in a number of different ways, but I'll show you what I probably would do is I would have it on a sticky note. And what I would do is at the top, I would write a barrier, whatever my barrier is at the top. Let's say it was childcare, right? I need childcare in order to have time to write. So I would have that at the top. And what I would do from there is then I would underneath that, I would write in what's my solution. So maybe, at the bottom, my solution might be, oh, I will reach out to my cousin to help babysit on Saturdays so I have 3 hours to write. And take your sticky note, take it off and put it somewhere wherever you are going to be most likely to look at it, because these barriers and delays will continue to happen. And I just want you to have some place where you have documented what the delays might be currently and have a solution in place. Because there's nothing worse when things happen unexpectedly and you have to try to pick up the pieces and put everything together. But now take a second, actually map out your plan. This is a part of what we do in our Velocity Coaching Program, because we know that it's important for students to have a plan and a workable plan that can get them to the finish line. And I hope today's episode has resonated with you, because I wanted to share this quickly with you so that you have the insights that you need to overcome the delays that are just inevitable with this dissertation process. And so if you have experienced delays, or you're looking to finish quickly and you just need the roadmap, you need someone to help you develop the plan, the infrastructure. If you're literally at the beginning phases of your dissertation and you're like, I just need some structure on like how to thinking about my committee and getting them together and creating a plan. I developed a workshop that you can have access to and purchase. It's called Design Your Done Dissertation. And it's a mini course that will help you actually implement create what we call the dissertation completion plan. And so you can scan the QR code that's here on your screen. The actual website is www.designyourdissertation.com. Again, it's www.designyourdissertation.com. And that's for you if you're trying to create your plan. But I know there's a number of you might be watching where you know what, I need some strategic support. I need someone to give me feedback on my writing. I need that more intensive support. If that's you, then I would welcome you to schedule a complimentary consultation to learn more about our Velocity Coaching Program. And you can learn more about what we do in our Velocity Coaching Program by going to www.velocitydissertation.com. And with that said, I wanted you all to make sure that you're getting what you need. I want you all to get to the finish line because you all have so much that you can do with your dissertations if only you have the strategy. And I don't want, your delay to keep you from the goal that you have, because many of you all are looking to use your research to impact the people, organizations, and communities that you care most about. And so don't let the lack of preparation be the thing that keeps you from doing that meaningful work. And don't let your ego get in the way either. If you find that you really need help, but you're just been stuck for, a month, a year, some folks 2-3 years now, there's no reason why you can't get help, whether it's with us at Done Dissertation or someone else. I don't care. Get the help, but just make sure that you reach out to someone and get the help that you need. And if you're looking for help, I have a video up here that you can click on that will show you how to think about selecting a dissertation coach, because a lot of times if you're going to get help, I want to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of, because there are a lot of scams out there. So make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click on the video and get more access to that. But again, I hope this episode of From AV to PhD show was helpful as we're thinking about how to finish a dissertation quickly and avoid the delays. And with that said, again, my name is Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation and host of the show. And at Done Dissertation, our goal is to help you write and defend your dissertation quickly. And so if this episode has resonated with you, you could do me a huge favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. And wherever you're watching this, share this out with 2 to 3 people that you know that can provide value and get value from today's episode. And with that said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I wish you all a done dissertation. Take care.